good?
We're rolling.
Roll it. Awesome. Welcome back to the Volly House Podcast, episode 10.
10 episodes already.
Glasses on already.
Yeah, Kev's got his glasses on.
I'm starting off right.
We are...
It's the weekend, so I got to
Yep.
my weekend glasses.
We are at Colca Studios. You need the Firehouse built, give them a call. Download the Firewire app. Available on iOS and Android.
My mic wasn't on.
I thought when you checked that, I looked at mine to make sure.
I
Mine
just
might
said,
have,
wow.
mine might have been on too.
We're supposed to test before we start.
Go to volleyhousepodcast.com to ask us questions or send in stories or videos you'd like us to review. Also, give us a follow on all social media platforms at Volly House Podcast. Disclaimer. This podcast is intended for a mature audience and contains humor and satire. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests alone and do not reflect any agency, employer, or organization. While some of the information is educational and factual, other information may be deemed as opinion. Listener discretion is advised. Let's get into iCommand board. Right next to you, Kev.
Awesome. Ready to go.
Every video we see from a career department incident shows an incident command board on scene. Yet, in many NIOSH LODD reports, a recurring finding is the lack of proper incident command. As a chief in the volunteer fire service, your responsibility is to ensure the safety of everyone operating at every incident. Gone are the days of managing this in your head or on a simple whiteboard. The owner of iCommand Board, a volunteer fire chief, took this challenge head on by developing a professional tool tailored for volunteer fire officers. These command boards are designed with size, affordability, and most importantly, accountability at the forefront. Packed with critical information and checklists, they are built to help you stay organized and focused at every event. Visit iCommandBoard.com today and take the next step in ensuring the safety and success of your department. And bonus here, I did speak to the owner, Greg, of iCommand Board, and he said anybody that wants one, mention that they saw it on the Volly House podcast, and they will get 10% off.
Nice. Take 10%.
So, again, that is iCommandBoard.com. Find out all about it. It could be customized to your department, your SOPs. So, great tool.
See it on there? Yeah, you can see it.
Yep.
So I have up residential, commercial fire, just quick check sheet. Make sure you're hitting all the spots, getting things done. Really cool.
Yeah. All right, so
Awesome.
we were supposed to do a show earlier this week, and then
We all got the suds.
the suds.
Well, first was the weather.
Hey,
Bill
Doc,
couldn't make it back in time for us.
Yeah,
Oh,
then
I was in the city on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever that was.
Yep, and then
I was in the city yesterday. I was at the Rock yesterday.
I got cooked with the stomach virus
Stay away from me.
on Thursday. Yeah, man, my ass was like a deck gun.
You were sick a while ago, right?
I was, yeah.
But like going back like a month or two, right?
It was like December into January, yeah.
I think it was that was like before we started.
It was before, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
was laid up. I think, when I saw you in the bar, last weekend, just on a whim, we didn't plan that
Yeah, it was
out, but just ran into Tyler, and he was, had a few Guinness.
yeah,
He was doing well. with
it's
his
out there
friends,
splitting
so
G's.
it's all good.
We'll get it on one of the episodes this month. We'll bring in a Guinness, celebrate a little St. Patty's Day, split the G.
Well, Huntington Parade tomorrow, so
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
be
saying
there.
on the show.
maybe we'll see some of you
I
guys
actually
there.
bought Guinness glasses. I always buy canned Guinness at home, and I was
Yeah,
tired.
you gotta do
I
the
was tired
glasses.
of drinking it out of just like regular, I like Blue Point Brewing glasses. So
It's like
So you bought Guinness glasses?
yeah,
like $30.
You got to have them.
$30 for a glass.
I think it was 30. Yeah, I think it was 30. Two glasses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's not terrible.
They're nice though, like solid 20-ounce glasses.
Once again, drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than going to a bar and they give you like the 12 or 16-ounce Guinness. It's like I look at it, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I went to a bar a couple weeks ago, and it was like, I thought
Yeah,
it
you
was a joke.
look at it and you're like, what is
Like a
this?
shot glass?
It's
Yeah.
like a tall can. It looks like a tall, like that type of size. What is that, 12 or 16 ounces?
Well, 16's a pint, so 12 is a regular can.
What are the ones they had at Dolan's? They have like
Those
the
are 20. Those are,
yeah, those are like the legit.
They're the big ones, yeah. They're like 20 ounces, I think.
That was the guy when we were there. Me and my buddy ordered Guinness, and the guy is off the boat from Ireland, John, and he comes up and he tells me, my buddy, he's like, Irish tradition is your first sip of Guinness, you want to split the G, and the way he explained it to me was it's the dark part of the beer and the foam is you want to split the middle of the line of the G. So me and my buddy were like, all right.
A proper pour.
Yeah, so we start drinking them and we're like missing them, like either low or high. So
in
we
those
tell them
20-ounce glasses, it's a big gulp.
it's
too.
it's about 3 full
Slugs.
Yeah, 3 full sips.
Yeah.
So we told him we kept missing it, and we're like, keep bringing them out until we
Get it
we
right.
hit it,
Nice.
and we were smoked. After I think we each had 12 Guinnesses in like 3 hours or something like that. It was tough.
Hey, the best thing that ever happened is Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
Like, legit. Like, we didn't have that. Now at least you can get home.
Yeah, it is true. Well, depending on
Or for me, call my daughters to have them pick me up,
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah,
I usually call my dad.
that's good. Yeah, I
Don't call Kevin.
yeah, I'll call you next time, Kevin.
Yeah.
You'll probably be at the
I'll
same
come
bar
get
as
you.
me.
Not always.
Well, it depends.
He'll walk out, grab his car, pull it around front.
Yeah, right. All right, we're going home. Yeah, it depends though, because the Uber, what gets crazy about it is on like the big time drinking holidays, July 4th.
Oh, it's expensive.
Dude, I had one
Or
time,
late at night, in the middle of the night. It's very hard
Middle
to
of
get.
the night, but
Sometimes they're expensive.
I had one time 4th of July, like 2 years ago. I was only going like 20 miles. Calling Uber, it was like $300.
Oof. From
Yeah,
where,
if they're limited, if they don't have a lot of people out.
From West Islip to Huntington.
Wow.
That's literally just like
It's not terribly
north.
far.
No.
Yeah.
But on top of that, okay, it's $300, but there was also no Ubers available.
Yeah, that's crazy though. $300.
Yeah, and it was like,
I've gotten back from Manhattan to either Huntington or Huntington. It's been like $150.
yeah. But I mean, that's,
There might be a lot more Ubers in Manhattan though.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because they're all in the bigger cities. But yeah, I mean, you're either risking a DWI, which is like $10,000, or
Listen,
you
it's
just
a lot
get
cheaper to get an Uber.
yeah, or you
It
just get an
definitely
Uber.
is, and it's convenient. It works. Or call somebody in the firehouse to come get you.
Yeah,
No
I've done
drink-
that a bunch.
Don't
yeah.
drink and
That's the
drive.
one thing. There's always a person in the firehouse that's always just like willing to pick you up. And I've done it myself a couple times. People have called me and I was like home not doing anything.
You call
like,
the paid medic to come get you, like 2 in the
yeah,
morning?
yeah, right. Yeah, you're trying to
I need a help.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
Little help here?
You call a paid medic at 2 a.m. That's the last thing they want to do.
Yeah,
Last
yeah.
thing they
Get
wanna hear
more
from-
angry. They'd be like, just drive drunk.
yeah, right.
Get more mad that you
Yeah,
fucking
take your
reached
chances.
out.
If they pick you up, you try to have them put an IV in you so you're not hungover in the morning.
Yeah, right. You're waking them up.
Yeah, yeah.
Oxygen in the morning.
Yeah, so
Don't drink and drive.
No, don't drink and drive. Call an Uber. Pay the $300, and that's I guess that's the beauty of I guess March with St. Patrick's Day, because everyone's got parades like
There's a lot of parades. A lot of departments are going to be out there.
Right, but what I-
members and
yeah.
everything else, and you got to take care of each other. Look out for each other.
But what I'm saying is like because it's like every weekend, like it's not one specific day. Like 4th of
No,
July
it's-
is one specific
there
day,
was
so that's why
some-
it's hard to get an Uber.
Right. But some started last weekend.
Yeah.
It's like the next 4 weekends, and we were looking yesterday because we're going to go to Huntington tomorrow. But there's a couple that go into April.
Yeah.
Really? St.
Parades
Patty's
on
Day
Long
parades?
Island. Yes.
I went to East Islip parade last week, and I think Bayshores is today.
Yes. Bayshore is today.
KP was last week. I missed
K-
That
that.
was
yeah,
last
Kings
week.
Park was
That
last week.
sick, yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on pretty much every
I
weekend.
saw a list in one of the group chats. Someone asked what St. Patty's Day parades are going on. Someone sent a list of like 40 parades.
Yeah.
all over Nassau.
Yeah,
and
you can you Google search it. But guys are going to be out there. Girls are going to be out there drinking. Just be careful. Look out for each other. If you're going to be on the apparatus too, make sure everybody's buckled up and
Yeah,
get
don't
home
do anything
safe and
stupid.
Don't do anything stupid. Don't hang on the rig, and people have been hurt, falling off rigs, chief's cars, and, some even getting hurt and killed. And, we don't need to see that. We don't need to lose anybody. So just watch out for each other. Be safe and be careful when you're out there. And nothing wrong with partaking in a few frosty cold beverages, but just be careful while you're out there.
Yeah, be responsible.
Absolutely.
Beer responsible.
Beer responsible?
Beer
Is that what you said?
responsible.
All right, let's get into Frontline Optics.
Oh, I just took them off.
Put them back on.
It is bright in here, though. They are nice when you put them on.
Yeah. All right. So, what makes us different? We know these shades are going to get beat up, which is why we offer a no questions asked replacement program to cover your lost or damaged sunglasses. When the time comes to get yours replaced, all you need to do is cover a $12 service fee and we'll ship a brand new pair to your door, no questions asked. Additionally, a portion of all sales is donated to the First Responders Children's Foundation, supporting the loved ones left behind by our brothers and sisters who gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to their communities. All our glasses are polarized, and we offer free shipping and returns so you can try them out risk-free. Not enough? We have both Z87 and prescription styles available. Check us out at frontlineoptics.com or on Instagram at frontlineoptics. Use discount code VHP15 for 15% off.
For a limited time. Frontline Optics. Use your
No.
VHP 15? No?
They're not limited.
Oh, good. Well, buy a pair. These things are great, actually.
They are great.
I do like them.
Yeah.
They're lightweight. These are going to be great for the beach.
Yeah, these are going to be perfect.
Maybe
great for
maybe
welding.
St. Patty's Day next week.
Welding.
They're great for welding.
I'll be wearing them out when I'm
Using torches.
at the St. Patty's Day parade. Good
All right.
stuff.
Suspended or not?
Dun, dun,
I saw
dun.
some stuff come in over the course of a week or so, right?
Yeah. I had to spread some stuff out, but we did get some good ones. Some of them we're getting are like legitimate, this person, should they be suspended or not? And then, the rest are just like funny, which
Soon
we
we're going to
love.
have chiefs and commissioners trying to get us to give them what to do.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with this one. It says, you are a current lieutenant and you're on sick leave. Your department taps out a commercial structure fire, which turns out to be work. There's a ton of members and trucks at the fire. The chief then requests dispatch to activate for more manpower for the tower ladder to respond, as the fire is now through the roof. No chauffeurs answer up. The lieutenant on sick leave comes up to the firehouse and takes it upon himself to drive the tower ladder by himself to the fire. Suspended or not?
So he was on official sick leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good day.
Official sick leave. So he was actually sick?
Yeah.
Sick or injured, if you're sick or injured, you shouldn't be going to
Well, I mean, especially
fires and emergencies.
if you have, because if you're on some sort of leave, there's paperwork.
There's paperwork and
So if that just so happens that, especially taking a ladder truck out by yourself, and probably going lights and sirens to work and fire, you got to have another man in the front seat with you to.
well, there are a lot of departments out there to respond with a single person, even paid departments. I know there's one upstate where the ladder truck, it's the only ladder they have, one person's on it, just drives the rig by himself.
That's odd.
That's crazy.
It is pretty crazy, especially a big rig like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
because,
You got a lot of blind spots.
if you're going to have to back up or anything, or you're going through a tight area, you have to have a spotter. No doubt about it. Sometimes multiple spotters, especially with a big rig. And
Well, that's what I'm saying. With this guy, you, God forbid, get into a crash or something like that. Well, there's paperwork showing that you're not supposed to be driving that rig.
yes, yeah, to a certain extent. If somebody really wanted to push the issue, especially if somebody got hurt or killed, they can definitely push the issue.
Yeah.
Why was this person out? And were they on medication? That's a whole nother thing. A lot of people take prescription medications or certain things or over the counter, and some of them say do not operate heavy machinery, and you should not be operating machinery or vehicles, even your personal cars. So you got to be very cautious with stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe a severe warning on that one to start. If nothing happened. If somebody got hurt or something, maybe take it a step further. But it could be a suspension.
I feel like that would be a suspension. Not like I just feel like I've heard stories similar to that.
Did he get authorized to?
I mean, I could see if
Doesn't
if
sound
you're,
like it.
You know, you're sick. But I mean, if you're injured and going to calls, which people do from time to time, they're out of their minds. You know, why get yourself jammed up or hurt more? And
Look, you're going to a job,
you
bro.
could be a detriment to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, that's why I asked if he was authorized. Because if it was like, we need the truck there now, you're the only guy to drive it. You drive it. Like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I still can't believe you're wearing that hat.
Yeah, that we didn't fucking bring that up.
I know
Wearing
that
shit again.
you polled
And you took it off,
everybody
and you put it back on.
you polled everybody to wear the hat. And
Oh,
you,
'cause I was fucking sweating. I'm still getting over my sickness. So
he doesn't even look good with it.
I put, you know what it was? I was just like, you know, we were like running out of like shit to post because we you know,
Running out of stuff. We got plenty of stuff.
No, because the clips were like weird, but I was like, you know what? Because there were people like saying in one of our posts, like, bring the hat back. So I just take a picture of my hat. I put it on a poll on our Instagram story, and I'm like, should Tyler bring the hat back? And overwhelmingly, it was voted yes. So now I'm sitting here sweating like an asshole, and I won't do that
You
again.
should wear a Volly House Podcast hat.
Yeah, I'm repping
Yeah, didn't
Engine
you get
too.
one?
No, I didn't actually.
I got one.
get
They're good. They're nice hats. You got it, Kevin? Or it's over there?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
I got it over there. Hold on.
That one's thick. That one will fucking make you sweat.
yeah.
They're good quality. I guess the only thing I would say with the merch online, if anyone buys any of it, I think my XL sweatshirt was a little snug. Yeah, so if you do the sweatshirts, get a
They
size
run a little
up.
small.
Yeah, but it was a
How's
good
this?
Gildan heavy cotton.
Do I look as bad as Tyler? Probably worse, right? Volly House.
You look like the theater thug. You know the theater thug?
No.
From Drake and
We got
Josh?
stickers too. You know,
Oh,
the
I
stickers are
got
out
it.
there. We've been handing out stickers.
Oh yeah, I got stickers. If anyone wants stickers,
Let us know.
we're
We'll
not
send 'em out.
selling stickers because I don't think selling stickers. I think that's dumb to sell stickers.
You want to ship them?
I'm not going to ship them, but if people want them and if we have mutual
Throw them
friends
in the mail. What's it going to cost? I mean, to throw it in the mail. I mean,
Nah, it's the effort.
The
it's
effort.
effort. I mean, we could sell them online if people really want them, but
But
I've been handing them out.
I went to a Comac job the other day, and the guy who messaged us, like I had a mutual friend in Comac, so I was like, well, if I see him, I'll just give him a handful of them, and he can hand them out.
Right.
That type of thing. But yeah, I don't want to get
We could
into
get
the-
some more, but you know, our biggest followers. What'd you say? Pennsylvania,
Yeah, they're all over-
Philadelphia.
yeah, they're all
Yeah.
over.
You know,
You wanna drive out
We got to
here and
send
get
it
a
to those
sticker?
guys and the guys down south.
I'm gonna take a trip over to GW to come
Yeah,
grab a
yeah,
sticker.
I handed a few out in Texas when I was there too. So
Oh, that's cool.
we're gonna get them all over the world. Volly House
Yeah.
stickers, right?
Yeah.
Second scenario. This was submitted at a department meeting. We put crushed red pepper on the top shelf of the oven, so it was hidden, and we waited for them to preheat the oven.
Oh boy, that's rough, man. Pepper.
That's like pepper pot times
That's-
like
oof.
10.
Yeah, that stuff hurts.
Because the regular pepper pot, it's black pepper. This is crushed red pepper. I think that's funny though. Like,
Crushed red pepper is actually hot.
yeah.
Unlike
Oh,
black
it is.
pepper.
But it's just fun. Those guys must have been like, all right, preheat the oven. Like the meeting's
They
starting.
put like a bowl in the back of the.
Yeah, like they put
what's
it on the
that
top
smell?
shelf, and then like, holy shit, like something's really burning in
Like
there.
it's on broil. It's just freaking burning.
I wonder if it's set up like if it's like the meeting room at like Hot Pog, where the kitchen and the meeting room
Right
are
on
like
top
right
of each
next
other?
to each other.
Oh, so the
You just
fumes.
bake out the entire freaking meeting.
Yeah.
Well, did you see that? What was that run yesterday? They had the pepper spray.
Oh yeah,
the-
in Queens.
Yeah, in Queens, it was in the like the cafeteria or something. Like all these students exposed.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah, I
see that
saw
or
that. It was
something?
like
I just
20
saw a clip of it. I didn't really
on
read much
Firewire.
into it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I got all the
20
snaps. Yeah.
24 people pepper sprayed or something.
Jeez.
Talk about a quick mass casualty incident,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it came through as an MCI. So what do you think for that one?
No suspension.
No
You
suspension.
might
I
piss
mean,
off the
you might-
guy, the
yeah.
company cooking. That's
You're
it.
probably gonna piss off the senior members that were cooking and those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody will laugh, I'm sure, about it, but you got to be careful with that, though.
hard with my agita.
I mean, people that do have respiratory conditions, it can really screw them up.
I've never done a pepper pot.
Oh, my
so
God.
I don't know what
Don't
it
do
feels
it.
like.
Yeah, don't do it.
It
Your
was always
eyes-
a hot thing that everyone was always talking about it years ago, but no one ever actually did it. I think
Yeah,
people
we-
got in trouble too many times for doing it.
Yeah,
and then-
yeah. It's not. It's like dumb.
I mean, even with black pepper, it gets pretty rough.
Yeah, but that's what we did with black
Yeah.
pepper, and it was like,
But the red, crushed red, whew.
yeah. Last one. One night after a department party, a firefighter snuck a lady friend into the old dispatch room for a little thank you for your service. While things were getting hot and heavy, one of them accidentally set off the siren on top of the firehouse at approximately 1:30 in the morning.
How do you accidentally set that off?
In the dispatch, some of them just got the buttons in the
hit a
dispatch
button.
room, hit the
Yeah.
button.
All right.
What is it with the sirens?
Yeah, a lot of people with sirens, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of issues with sirens.
Like most of the time, like civilian, just you're like laying in bed, you hear the firehouse siren going off. You're like, go get them, brothers. You're not part of the fire
you think a
department.
civilian's really saying, go get them, brothers?
No, I'm
They're
fucking
probably like,
around.
God damn, that thing's going off
No,
again.
they're probably like, oh wow, like our brave firefighters are going to a big working fire right now. Meanwhile, it's someone getting laid in like a dispatch office accidentally hit the button. What do you
I
think?
wouldn't say a suspension, but shouldn't be doing that shit in there. But
I feel like
it's happened for years.
I feel like with the radio room stuff, those suspensions would come from departments that have just like locked doors. Like if you like my place is tight. If you're in a place you're not supposed to be, like they're just looking to get you in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but was it a dispatcher or was it a volley? There's a volley in the
volley?
dispatch. So
Volley, yeah.
you know, some volley, you know, like the first person in the firehouse takes over the dispatch console in certain places.
Yep.
Other places, you know, it's a district employee. You know, everybody's a little different how they do it, whether you get dispatched by a county or an outside agency and then you take it over, or, you know, this is so much to volunteer departments. I mean, even paid departments too, but the differences from place to place. I mean, I was at a department just this past week. The company owns the firehouse and the apparatus in the firehouse, not the department.
Are they a fire company?
It's a fire department, and then each company owns their own firehouse.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and it's very different. It's, you know, I've heard about some of this stuff where, you know, companies own the firehouse and the district leases space from them to keep the apparatus on the apparatus floor and the lighting and stuff like that. But in this particular case, this company gets money from the municipality, and they have their own like board of trustees and everything, and they run their firehouse, and you know, they each have their own meetings, like they're separate but under one department title. It's very interesting of how places work, you know, and everybody's a little different, whether you have a district, a village, or, you know.
Yeah, it is
we
crazy.
were talking a little bit about this in the past, but, you know, as I see more and more of these places, and you talk to people all over the place and throughout the country when you go to other states, of how they actually operate and what is actually done. It's very intriguing
interesting.
that it's not all the same.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we already having jurisdiction and your own rules. I get all of that stuff, but it's just so different from firehouse to firehouse, district to district, companies to departments, and paid and volunteer and combination, and, you know, partial this, partial that, paid on call. You know, it's there's just so much to it.
Yeah.
You can learn from so many different people.
Very true.
And the job's the same. Put the fire out. Show up.
Yeah, in the end of the day, it's all mission driven,
No,
like
you're
we
right.
talked about. You know, put the fire out. You know, we need to get there, help people as fast as possible, you know, and do the job every single day, which can get into the next segment.
Yeah. All right, let's start with multi-purpose webbing before we head into that.
I don't touch that anymore.
Look, it's packed.
Multi-purpose webbing is a firefighter-owned business dedicated to creating products that facilitate fireground efficiency. The MPW Personal Carry is a webbing system designed for simpler firefighter and civilian removal. The MPW can be separated to allow for search, haul, and utility function. The rated system comes complete with dual-action, palm-activated carabiner, mil-spec webbing, and carry case. Our glove clamp is by far the best solution for out-of-pocket glove carry. Never lose a glove again. It's mpwebbing.com. Use discount code VHP15 for 15% off site-wide for a limited time.
1-inch tubular webbing. It's got a nice loop in the end. You can put it around your wrist if you have to. Got your little
Yep.
double action carabiner. So good
Love
stuff. I like it. I really do.
Kev, what did you used to carry in the city when you in your pockets?
So over the years, I've changed. You know, when I originally got on the job, and you know, even in the volleys, I thought I needed to carry everything, and I kind of started getting away. You know, and lightening my load. As you get older, you start, you know, thinking about your body. You know, when you're young, you think you're Superman. You're like you could do anything. Nothing's gonna bother you until you go to a couple fires in a row, and you know, like it gets tiring. So I lighten my load, but I carried actually a 11-foot piece of webbing with a water knot in it, and I could use it for a lot of different things. But even packaging a person, if you're not wearing your waist straps, and we can get into wearing equipment gear down the line too. But you know, a lot of people, and I don't know why, because we're taught properly in the fire academies, paid volunteer and everything, and you know, you should be wearing your waist strap on your SCBA, and it's very important. God forbid there is a mayday or a RIT type of situation where you have to package somebody. You know, you need to find those waist straps, and you know, whether you're putting it through the legs or do something else. But a lot of people let them hang, or they tape them up, and
I can't.
and
Let him hang while working.
oh yeah, just put the shoulder straps on, let
That
the waist
kills
straps
my
hang.
back. My waist
Yeah.
strap on my SCBA is super tight, and my shoulder straps are loose.
A little loose, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the pack goes like this.
Yeah, because I can't have it like. And the newer packs that we just got, they sit better on your waist, so it's not killing your back. I
And
couldn't
the weight,
imagine
the
wearing
weight
them.
should be there. You know,
Yeah.
the majority should be towards your waist and not your shoulders.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, you know, when you're operating a hose line or, you know, pulling ceilings or whatever else, it's not all on your upper body, and you're using that for, you know, doing the work. But more and more, and you can look around, you can look at photos and videos everywhere, and you'll see SCBA straps hanging all the time. So, you know, one of the guys in my firehouse, he actually came up with, we tried a couple different options. You know, a lot of people carry 20-foot pieces of webbing. Like this is 22, and this works for a lot of things. I'm not saying it's not going to work. But we found that 11 to 14 feet seemed to work really well. And I could literally slip it over the cylinder behind your back, throw it through your legs, and clip it to your shoulder straps, and instantly put you in a harness with your SCBA.
Right.
So, and then I could, you know, handcuff knot, I could drag people, I could put a girth hitch on you, whatever I have to do. But it worked well, and it was lightweight because it was a small package. I'd roll it in a glove, rub glove, and put it right in my pocket. But it worked well. And, you know, in the past, we also, when we had the removable knee pads, we used to just put it in our knee pad.
I've
and
seen
close
that.
it up, and then you could just pull it out, or in the coat. Guys would put it in the coat inside the snaps, and you let a little piece hang out. You can just pull it right out. So
Right.
there's a lot of options, and you know, but I started lightening my load. I had a little bag on the rig with screwdrivers and channel locks, stuff like that. So when you had the water leaks and you know the automatic alarms, and you just needed a couple tools, you bring a little bag with you.
Right.
But less in the pockets, because I used to carry a screwdriver all the time, and it would always put a hole through the
Yep.
pocket, and then it's in the way, and then you're crawling on the ground, and you're crawling on stuff, you know. So I just started loosening up a lot of stuff over the years.
I don't like having heavy jacket pockets, those two pockets right here, because those weigh down too much. And when I swing my jacket, it would hit me.
Yeah.
And I would it actually hurt me. I have one of those heavy cast iron, it's like a plier and a spanner wrench on one end.
I know what you're
And
talking
then
about,
it's
yeah.
got the gas shut off on the other one,
Yep.
and a little it's almost like a little pry bar, like fork type of end on the one end. And I have that. I have a 6-in-1 screwdriver, and then chocks in the other pocket. But having the 6-in-1 and that little wrench, that little plier, it's freaking a heavy pocket, and
Yeah.
it's like it is a pain in the ass.
I have a
to carry.
multi-tool in one pocket, and then the other pocket is like my stuff for heavy rescue. Got like my glasses in there, window punch, and my extrication gloves are in one pocket, and then like my firefighting gloves I have hanging from my gear.
But like the window punch, I mean, how many times are you going to use a window
I
punch?
haven't used it.
Yeah. You know, and that's the thing. We wind up carrying a lot of stuff because we think we're going to use it. And, you know, I found out more and more I'm not even using this stuff. And when I do need it, I could always get it. It's not an emergency. What do I need really every day? I always carried, you know, as a boss, 3 chocks on my right side. So it was the front entrance door, the lobby door, stairwell door, or an apartment door, you know, covered 3 chocks right away, you know. And then piece of webbing, you know, piece of rope, you know, thin, small rope. I had it daisy chained if I ever had to pull a tool or do a tag line or something like that. But it was about 40 feet, so I can go off the roof. But The whole thing, Dage's chain, was about this big.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you're talking like a thin
Yeah,
rope.
very
Okay.
thin rope, like
Strong enough to just lift.
like a 5/16, very small rope. But, like I said, I just started lightening my load more and more. And, a lot of people like all these pockets on the pants, the coats, and radio pockets. Your radio, just like your face piece, melts.
Yeah.
It's got to, the newer radios are starting to be NFPA compliant and stuff. They don't melt as much. But, a lot of the cords, the wires and stuff, like that should all be underneath your coat. You shouldn't have anything exposed except for the mic. Because God forbid you get into a situation or a flashover, and now that melts, you can't even make a transmission anymore.
Right.
So, a lot of guys like to put it on the outside of the coat and things hanging out, and it's really no good. So, it's got to be protected or in a radio case. But,
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you do? Radio strap under your jacket?
yeah, I have a
Radio
leather strap, but you can put it in the inside pocket of your coat. People do different things. But, just you got to be careful about what you have on you, because it's going to hang you up in places and stuff like that. So,
Speaking of preparedness and gear, stuff like that, let's get into job of the week.
oh boy,
Yeah.
it's a tough one.
We've gotten a couple of requests.
So, I've mentioned before about, pictures. You see a lot of pictures on the internet, social media, and you get all the keyboard junkies like to complain and say things about an image or a picture from 1 second. Like, you don't know what happened prior to or after. And even with videos, and there is a video out on this one from Nassau County, but you don't know what happens before, and you don't know what happens after, or you cannot see everything, like the conditions inside this house. But reality is, and I talk about this a lot, whether I'm teaching, we've mentioned it here, about chiefs being properly geared up. And with that, I mean everything, full bunker gear, your hood on, SCBA on your back, gloves ready to go, maybe even a tool. But, in the first few minutes of a volunteer chief getting on scene, whether you're there prior to an engine or after an engine, you have to be prepared to act. All right, that is what we're here for. We're here for people 100% of the time. When a person picks up the phone, they don't care if you're a volunteer, paid, combination. They really don't give a shit. They want you to help them. And you have to be prepared to act. You have to be prepared to act if, God forbid, your personnel needs help, like your engine's shorthanded.
Yep.
A person goes down. A person gives a mayday. A person comes to a window and you might have to grab a ladder and throw it up. You should be able to throw a ladder up. One person, you should be able to put a 24-foot ladder up, no problem, with the one person raise or drag or carry or whatever you have to do. But, we all need to be prepared on the fireground. And even engine chauffeurs, and I understand sometimes it's an older member and, maybe they're an exterior firefighter, but they should be geared up, ready to go. They should be able to wear an SCBA, God forbid they're in a smoke condition. But we have to act professionally. We have to be able to provide for the public, and we have to keep that and maintain that public trust that they look up to us, they expect us to come. And, there's a chief down in Texas, and I'll give a shout out to him, Chief Scott Thompson. And I just saw him again at the Joey D seminar. He did our keynote. He's spoken before. He's out on the circuit. He's at FDIC and everywhere else. But he's the chief of the Colony. It's called the Colony, Texas Fire Department. And, one of the rigs, and they just had it out recently, the rubber underneath the back, along, how they put instead of the mud flap, they put the big mud flap across the back, and people put sayings on there. And, the one rig, it says, "We will come for you." Like, and he's all about, the people. That's what we're here for. If you can't handle being a firefighter and going in to rescue somebody, you probably shouldn't be a firefighter. But we have to come for the people. The people call for us. And, you put gear on and an SCBA on your back, you have a lot more protection, even though it's limited, a lot more protection than that civilian that's in that building. And you have to be prepared to act every single time. So this incident that happened in Nassau County, I won't say the department, but most of you know where and who. we see a video. And it's only about a minute and 25 seconds long. It's not real long, but you see the chief walk up to the front door, opens the door, looks in, walks away, and then says it's a working fire. Okay, so a little backside into this, I made some phone calls, I got a lot of information, and like I said, I'm not here to bash anybody. A lot of things happen, and trying to be polite about it, but we have a job and a responsibility. And the call went out. It came over as a person trapped, or multiple people trapped. I don't know exactly, but it came over as someone trapped. The dispatcher prompted the chief on the way there and said, we're starting to receive a couple calls on this, and they're reporting someone trapped on the second floor. And my initial response to that would be, I'm pulling up, gearing up, 100%. I'm through the front door, and I'm searching for that person if I'm there first.
Run it.
And the chief got on the radio, and he actually said, I'll be there in 2 seconds. And still, it took some time. And when he walks back over to the car, he gets on the radio, says it's working fire signal 10. That's what they call it in Nassau County. Gives a small size up, which I think size up is extremely important. Anytime you're there, you're looking at a building, whether you're engine, you're first on scene, whatever. If you're going to give a report, be clear, concise, say what you see. Don't make any shit up. Just say what you see. And, obviously he had a little more information because he got to the front door. I don't know what he said when he first got on scene, whether it was a 2-story dwelling or whatever the situation was, but give a good size up of what's going on. But he did say, we have fire downstairs on the first floor, and blah, 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 blah. And the residents were there saying there was somebody trapped. He knew somebody was trapped, and, you got to take some sort of action. So at the end of the video, you see another chief's car pull up. That was an assistant chief from that department. Another chief from another department, mutual aid, pulled up, and he got out of his car, got dressed right away, ran to the assistant chief. He goes, we're going in. And they ran up to the front door without hesitation. They looked down. It was a split level. Looked down the stairs, fire down in the basement or first floor level. And there was also a chair on fire on the second floor. Shot up the stairs, usually with a split level. For those that don't know, the upstairs, when you're going up, it's usually leading towards the bedroom side. You should be able to size that up from the outside anyway.
Like split ranch?
Yeah, well, yeah, split. Yeah. So it usually goes towards the bedroom area. So up the stairs, made a right-hand turn, right-hand lead, went into the first room. It was a lot of clutter. Grabbed a bag, thought it might be a body. Came back, called out, fire department, anybody here. Seemed like a lot of stuff in there. Moved on to the next door. It was a closet, opened out towards him. Just did a quick thing, closed it, went down the end of the hallway. There was another bedroom, which would have been the 1-4 corner or A, D corner, for those in other parts of the country. Went in that room, same thing, called out, did a quick look, a lot of clutter. Went into the other bedroom across the hall, towards the back of the house. So that would be the 3 side, the 3-4 corner, which was the master. Got in, got to the bed, did a quick sweep. Nobody answered, came back out, went into the next door, which was a bathroom.
Yep.
Bathroom was long, had 2 doors. The other door went into the master bedroom. Crawled in a few feet, and she was laying right there, face up. Gave the report, victim. I got the victim, started pulling her out to the hallway, and then the truck company from a neighboring department grabbed her, took her the rest of the way out. The engine company was putting water on the fire when they were starting to drag her out. So I don't know the actual time frame. I've heard different numbers of how long it was from working fire to actually getting the victim. Would it have been any different? Would it have been any faster? I don't know. We can never say what could have happened. You do a left-hand lead and you go down the hallway, you might have got her first door.
Right.
We never know how we're going to start our search or what we're going to do, but everybody's a little different. If there were multiple people or 2 chiefs, maybe they could have went in 2 different directions.
Definitely sounds like there was a lot going on. There could have been some things that could have been done differently, but at the same time, the way people, especially on the internet, immediately hop on
bash people
and start bashing
yes,
people.
Absolutely.
Like that's again, like you said in the beginning, you don't know what was going on there. Obviously, that there's a little bit more information that we had and whatnot, but the problem is like, sure, maybe things could have been done at that certain situation, but
right.
the next time another video comes out, of a fire department doing something, and you see something that maybe you don't like right away, it's like you're one of the people that are bashing this video, and now all of a sudden you're going to start bashing this next video
Listen,
that
it
comes
could be
out.
you
It could
tomorrow.
be different.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we say, you're only as good as your last fire, right? The last thing you did good or correct. That's the best you are. So, like I said, it really depends on a lot of factors. Would I have done something differently? Yes, I would have. Maybe you would have done something. Maybe you would have done something. Who knows? It just really doesn't get into play like that. It turns out supposedly the resident had a chair smoked downstairs. He went outside to the garage. A neighbor told him his house was on fire. He didn't even know. There's so many factors that go into these things. And, we're so quick to judge people. We're so quick to say they screwed up. Instead of building people up, they still did I don't want to say a great job or a perfect job or a good job or whatever, but, people did act. There were firefighters that got to the scene and did act right away. But, I always stress the importance of why we're there. We're there for people, number one. Number two, you're there to be a firefighter. Put on your goddamn gear. Yeah. I don't understand what the problem is or why people feel, whether they're a chauffeur, an officer, and it goes for paid and volunteer. It goes both ways. Like, why aren't we getting our gear on? And I understand there are times, there's certain things like we talked about extrication, maybe, in other avenues where maybe you don't need gear. But you're talking about a fire. You're going out on a CO run, an automatic alarm, a gas leak. Fully bunker up. I don't understand. I mean, like I said, I've been to gas leaks that were fires. I was CO alarms that turned out to be fires. Like, you should be prepared every single time you get on that rig to go to a fire.
Right.
Especially to the alarm of fire.
Yes, and, a direct call for fire in a building. So, and if I would have got there even in my civilian clothes, I would have went up that stairs and crawled down that hallway.
For sure.
If I had my bunker gear on and no SCBA, I would have crawled down that hallway and looked for that victim. And if I had to close the door behind me, drag the victim to a window to get air or myself to get air, I would have done it. And I'm not saying do that on a regular basis. I'm not saying don't put your gear on, but go in buildings. I'm saying if you have the gear, especially in your car, tools and equipment, the residents expect you to put that on.
Right.
They expect you to professional appearance, looking good, not the chief in flip-flops and shorts, and, standing there in front of a camera and telling, hey, my guys did a great job. No, wear your equipment. Look professional at what you do. Okay? Otherwise, why'd you join? If you don't want to put gear on, why'd you join the fire department?
Did you ever see, I think we hit on this at one of the episodes.
I know where you're going.
The Spot the Volley Chief.
Spot the Volley Chief.
The guy.
Dude, the account's not active anymore.
I know, but there was.
I love Spot the Volley Chief.
There was one of my favorite.
If you run Spot the Volley Chief, DM us, and we need to get that page up and running again.
Dude,
I think it's a guy from Nassau. But
my favorite
I'm
thing
not even
is
sure.
it was the hashtag. I think it was hashtag command casual, and
Yeah.
it was there
or
was
the
one
hashtag, with Spot the Volley
there was
Chief.
there was one picture. It was a working fire, and the chief was running command outside with just a bathing suit on, no t-shirt, and a fucking
Well, he
radio
was supposedly
strap on.
next door. I heard
That-
some
yeah,
of that
that I
story.
understand,
He was next door at a party or something,
The
and he
last
literally
post
ran
on
out.
Spot the Volley Chief, the last post was January 29th, 2024. So over a year that it's been just...
Oh yeah.
Listen, I mean, there's
You
times.
run that page.
There's times when you're a
11,000
chief,
followers.
you're in the car, and I get it. You're coming back from the beach and you're wearing a bathing suit, and an
gotta do what
accident
you gotta
happens
do.
in front of you, and you get
Yeah.
out. I always carried sweatpants in my car. I always had a pair of boots. Like, at least I could throw something on. Or what would I do? I get out, I put my bunker pants on, at least not to look like an idiot.
Right, yeah.
Standing out there. But you should look halfway professional. We were talking about wearing white beaters and stuff like that.
Yeah,
jeans
yeah.
and,
Whoever started this page is hilarious.
It is so fun.
they also-
I mean, I do laugh, and Can you get caught? I got caught once getting out of the car at an accident. It happened like right in front of me, and I jumped out just to see if everybody's all right. And somebody was taking pictures, and they posted it, and I'm like, oh man, got
yeah,
me.
you got fried.
So that's gonna happen. But you're going to fires, you're going to emergency. Put your friggin' gear on.
Yeah,
You know who I give credit? Great guy, and I'm sure he'll be on this podcast one day. Ex-Chief Pat Desadue. He used to.
Who says we're gonna have him?
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
I love Pat. Though.
I've been trying to
He
ask
used
him.
to. He must have had cargo pants or tack pants or something. He was always wearing tack gear.
Oh, he
always geared up.
You should look. You
Boots,
should look
tack
professional.
Pants, jacket every time. I hate the freaking sweatpants and the if you're wearing shoes that if you drop a 2x4, you're gonna hurt your toe, you shouldn't be wearing those shoes. Like that's how I think of it. He's always wearing, whatever 511 Bates, whatever it was, tacked out like.
Yep.
Good
Keep it in your
stuff.
car. My
Yeah.
car. I got them in my car. I'm like
just
ready to go.
Just because you're not throwing on bunker pants and a jacket, automatic alarm, your guys are the guys are gonna go in.
Right.
But look like you're a
firefighter.
yeah. Look
Yeah.
like-
But
No,
I mean,
he
you
was
look at
always on
these
it.
you look at these Chiefs cars now, and obviously price of everything is up. But a Chiefs car nowadays is probably well over $100,000.
Yeah.
By the time you put lights, sirens, lettering,
Command box.
the command box,
iCommand
everything you have in iCommand board, whatever. These cars are over $100,000 with tools and equipment, and the residents give you basically, I don't want to say give you that car, but you have that car to drive around to serve the public. That's what it's there for. It's not your personal car. I know people like, oh, you're not taking. It's not your car. It's the taxpayer's car. It's
Right.
the fire district's car or the company's car or whoever. But they want you to be professional when you're driving it, when you're going around town, and everything else, and to act.
Yeah, and the best is if you can prove them wrong. And I remember, I think it was Islip Fire Department a couple years back bought a brand new boat, and I think the thing was pricey, and the community was like, "Come on, like what the fuck did you buy that for?"
Right.
Then Fire Island started burning in the off season, and the bay. It was like a windy night. The bay was crazy, and they fucking hop on this boat and take it right across the bay with 4-foot waves in the bay to get to Fire Island to put this fire out. And they posted about it. And then community is like, oh,
That's why.
okay.
maybe
we get it now. That way
Well,
you guys
I
aren't
just-
taking a fucking dinghy
I
across the
just got
bay.
a text a couple minutes ago. It's like West Hampton's got a huge brush fire going on now.
Oh, yeah?
They had one on Shelter Island. Oh, Santa Mauritius,
How about drill of the week?
Sunrise Highway.
Drill of the week. I have been.
What have you guys been-
Unfortunately, sick on the weekend,
Yeah.
so I didn't make drill. I got drill tomorrow.
What do you got, guys got going on?
We're preparing a bunch of things. So this month we're doing portable ladders.
Okay.
So that's coming up in another week, but should be good.
Did you guys?
I
see,
did-
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Cause
Did you guys see what I shared on the story, on the Volly House story, on how the guy lifted and carried a ladder? He did like a ladder flip.
Oh, the flip. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Also, I thought
it's
that was
great.
great.
so it's funny you mention that because
And I just mentioned before about being able to do one person carries, raises, drags,
Right.
raising ladders. You as a firefighter, you should be able to move a 24-foot
there was a
ladder.
video. Who had the job? Was it Bayport maybe?
Yeah, Bayport had a job.
The news. It was News 12 was around the block. They got video of it,
Or
and you
Blue
see.
Point, Bay Point, Blue Point, somewhere. over
Yeah,
there.
it was one of those departments. But the video they put on the news story, you see one guy throws the ladder in and raises it up by himself.
Mm-hmm.
All that. They got good video of it. But that's definitely a good drill to do because you can absolutely do that as a one-man job.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing one person and two person to the window, going in, grabbing a victim, and bringing the victim down. We're going to do one and two person going to the roof, carrying roof saw up with tools. Show them how to do the tools and stuff, get them up on
Nice.
the roof. And then we're going to also be doing 35-foot ladder, carries, drags, and same thing. So, just getting them accustomed of the different types of things and showing people that you can do this as one person. But also the hazards that are involved. You don't want to be hitting electrical wires, tree branches, stuff like
Exactly,
that. And it sounds like it's basic stuff, but how many times you put a portable ladder up?
Exactly.
Always, bro.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
But, we got to practice it more and more. I mean, you're going on an automatic alarm all the time. You're not putting up a ladder.
No. Yeah.
And,
Right.
And I really feel that automatic alarms and CO runs, those are practice runs. Those are practice getting your gear on properly. And we've mentioned this before, but, that's practice getting the tools and getting off the rig, taking your position and being prepared, so this way when the actual job comes in, you're going to function no problem.
I've always been against the freaking 5-2-5 and go. I never liked you're en route, 5-2-5 turnaround.
Right.
I think the same way. It's always like something that I, especially living here with all this industrial park, like fire alarm panels. I don't know anything about fire alarm panels.
You're a captain. You should know everything about
I can
fire
look at
alarm
them. I
panels.
can silence them and disable them a lot, but maybe because I've been doing it for 10 years. But like the new guys who just get on the truck, get on the road, and turn around, there's no opportunity for you to ever look at them,
Right.
see the Knox boxes.
And that's the problem. You got to get that chance for people to show you how this stuff works. How does a sprinkler system work and stuff?
Yeah.
There's room in my firefighter 2 class coming up in March. So
I
when
did
you
a
sign up,
class.
we can
I did a
talk about
class
it.
for your department on automatic fire alarms one time.
You did a class?
Yeah, just I think it was just like a regular drill. I think it was a department drill, but because at the time I was working, I was installing those alarms. So I was explaining to them like what the certain sounds mean, or the difference in systems, because depending on the building, sometimes you got buildings that are with the newer systems where you can pinpoint exactly which detector's going off. It'll tell you detector number.
Addressable systems.
Yeah, addressable systems. Then you have older buildings that give you zones.
Just zones.
Yeah, and then like sometimes you'll go to the panel in the front, and they're supposed to have like a picture where all the zones are and stuff like that. But like if you don't find them, okay, well, I got to look around this whole building. Where do I figure
And
out?
sometimes
like, how
it
do I
tells you
know?
what rooms or area
Right.
it is.
I've
and,
seen a lot of guys.
But the big thing most people don't understand is the difference between what a trouble alarm actually is. Why
Right.
do you get trouble on the panel? And it has a lot to do with a lot of different things, but
Yep.
it means that it's not getting full circuit a lot of times, or
Well, a
it's
lot
not
of that-
making communication.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that has to do with if you have and this is a common thing where you have a faulty detector, and the fire department comes. Yeah, we don't know why. You look up, you see the solid red light on the detector. That's the one that was activated. All right, let's pull this head. The minute you pull that head out, now you're going to get a trouble on the system because that, like you
It's
said,
not communicating through.
Yeah,
'cause it's supposed
a
to
broken
cycle
circuit.
through. It's a broken circuit. But you can silence these things or take that head out. The rest of the system will still work.
It'll still
You
work.
know,
Yeah,
so-
you're just going to have that trouble alarm.
Right. And some people are just quick, hit reset. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it comes back in. But, are you really taking care of what the situational problem is? If it's a dusty head or there's a bug in there, it's going to go off again.
Dude, I had one time when I was
Or
working,
maybe
it was
there is
at-
smoke in that area.
It was at a
you know?
church. I pulled a head off, and there was a spider web in there, and the spider laid eggs.
Yep.
And the eggs hatched. All the spiders started ripping around, and it set the smoke
the alarm
detector
off.
because there's you have the different types. You got the electromagnetic ones, and then the ionization.
Ionization, yeah.
So they operate differently, which is why like you have an older system ionization smoke detector that over the years has just accumulated all these particles, and eventually it'll keep going
It'll
off.
get dust, water, moisture, stuff like that, And there are people that say you should have both types, like in your building or your home. Like you can buy even the battery operated ones. You get one that's ionization, one's electronic. This way, because one activates quicker than the other.
Right.
So there's good and bad points to everything.
Right. Let's get into the fire store.
Awesome.
In the world of firefighting and public safety, reliability is key. That's why for over 2 decades, first responders nationwide have trusted the Fire Store as their go-to source for top-tier equipment, apparel, and accessories. Featuring industry-leading brands like MSA Cairns for helmets, Streamlight for dependable flashlights, and Seek for cutting-edge thermal imaging cameras, the Fire Store equips you with the best tools to tackle any challenge. But it doesn't stop there. From EMS supplies to flame-resistant apparel and high-visibility gear, the Fire Store has everything you need to stay safe and prepared on the job. Partnered with the most trusted names in the industry, the Fire Store is committed to providing quality and innovation because when lives are on the line, there's no room for compromise. Join the thousands of first responders who rely on the Fire Store. Visit thefirestore.com, your reliable partner for fire and public safety equipment.
I'm getting text messages, big fire out east. Multiple departments.
Oh boy.
You guys have any type of like stump jumper or?
We don't. We have 3 flatbed pickups, F350s.
Regular pickup trucks?
Yeah, with a skid mount pump on it.
Like a brat?
So, yeah, they're not brats. You know, we make them ourselves. So
Right.
it's just basically like a pickup truck, extended cab pickup.
Does it have like
Flatbed.
a lift or big tires or anything like that? Or kinda-
Our headquarters one has bigger tires on it because it goes on the beach sometimes because it drags the boat down there. So they have bigger tires for the sand. Because we cover 29 miles of waterfront, so we have a lot of water area. So we have 2 inflatables, and then we have our big boat, a 25-foot Boston Whaler. But we had a stump jumper years ago. We sold it to Holbrook. I think Holbrook's got a couple, but
I would love to have that, like a stump jumper, a big truck like that, and I would also love to be in water rescue, like to participate in water rescues. Like I got water rescue certified just for shits, and I like it, but I would love to like actually engage in those.
Let me ask you this. Maybe you would have so years ago, we had a bunch of guys that went and got water rescue qualified, and there was another department that said, yeah, if you guys want to go get water rescue certified, we'll add you guys to the mutual aid plan. And our guys were like, all right, yeah, cool. A couple guys went out, got the certification, and then when they went and told our chief at the time, like, hey, you know, this chief from this department said we get certified, like they'll add us to their mutual aid plan.
he said, no way.
And they said, nope. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's up to the chief. The chiefs should talk to each other. They shouldn't be telling a member.
Right. This was just like, you know, the chiefs did talk to each other. It was just kind of like, you know, we used to hang out with these guys. You know, the chief would be around and, you know, just kind of mention it in passing. But why would you say no as a chief for that?
I wouldn't.
Right, but like, why would anybody?
The same thing goes with tech rescue. You know, we have members of other departments that have been getting trained in tech rescue stuff. Their department is not part of the tech rescue plan or, you know, the program, and they want to respond. And there's chiefs that won't let them.
That's
They
crazy.
don't want to
me.
be part of it, and they don't want to upkeep it. They don't want to have to, track them and make sure they're being trained and everything else. And
Yeah, but if you're just going
I
and
don't
taking a
understand
class,
why. I mean, you could have mutual aid agreements or auto aid agreements, and
yeah, it made no sense to me because it's like, yeah, you could absolutely do something like that, but if your chief says no, well then obviously you can't. But it makes no sense for them to say no.
You do have to make sure they're maintaining certifications. You know, all of these things are perishable skills.
Right.
And, you know, when your department looks at you and they say, all right, he's making his trainings, or, you know, there's so many differences. You know, there are some departments that require certain basic skills, almost like an EMT class. Like every year you have to hit like 12 basic steps every year of training, you know, to make sure that you're doing your ladders and, you know, hoses and everything else. There's some departments like that. Others just say, you know, you got to make X amount of trainings per year. You know, but who is ensuring that you're actually trained to do the job or continue to do your job? Like, and I know nobody wants to hear about more training. Everybody's like, we're tapped, volleys, you know, we can't do it, this and that. And you should be trying to go out and do more training. You know, like I even say, you know, the guys at the Joey D, you know, I said, you're like the 1% that actually goes out and gets additional training on top of what your department provides. When you go to the FDIC and these other programs, I think it's very important, and learn from other people. But you have to maintain that proficiency. And
Right.
if you're not maintaining proficiency, or your chief doesn't know, and now he's allowing you to respond to another department to something that maybe you are skilled or not. You know, a lot of people get certificates but don't ever train again, like RIT, you know, or heavy
Right.
rescue, and they're like, well, I know it. No, you don't know it. Or maybe you have a basis, and once again, like I say, the fire service can humble you very quickly.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I got it. All of a sudden you're like, oh, crap, I don't have it. Man, I should have trained more. You should never say, I should have trained more after the fact.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you're going to wind up injured, hurt, bad, or even killed. And then what are you going to say? Oh, I didn't do the right thing, you know. Like, never let that training, you know, let you down. That's
Right.
the saying that, you know, it's been around for a long time. in the FDNY, but never let your training let you down. You got to continue to train hard so that you can act and be proficient at your skills.
Once you stop, I always notice that when you don't handle certain tools for a while, you always get a little like I'll never forget how to use spreaders and cutters.
Right.
But how often do you use them? So every time we get we get cars frequently. Every couple of months we get cars delivered and we drill on them. But every time you pick up the spreader again, you're like, oh, like this thing was heavier than from whatever.
Right. I haven't done it in a while.
And I gotta hit it at a certain angle and twist it and do this little motion that I just, I haven't done it in a while. It's kind of awkward, especially when you're getting like higher up on cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like forcible entry, for example, like you understand the basics of forcible entry. You know what kind of has to be done, but if you're not practicing that on a regular basis, you don't get good at it anymore. And now everybody's resorting to hydraulic spreaders and bunny tools and all this other stuff, which are great. They work
Bunny
awesome.
Tool? You call the rabbit tool bunny tool?
Well, there's a rabbit tool and a bunny tool. The rabbit tool is bigger. It's a pump with a hose on it, and then the clamp. A bunny tool is the little thing.
Oh, really? We call the pump on the rabbit tool.
Yeah, it's actually.
I know what
a bunny
you're
tool.
talking about. Yeah, they call that the rabbit tool.
So
you
we
call
used
it
to
the bunny tool?
So we used to carry it in a bag. It was a bigger pump
It's like a little black
with a
bag.
hose. Yeah. So that we always called the rabbit tool, and then when the little one came, we called it the bunny tool. So, but it's smaller, and that's the only reason. But people are pretty good at those. Well, what happens when you get up there and you go to use that tool and it doesn't work?
Yeah.
Now you're resorting back to the old school way, and you're like, oh wow, I haven't done this in a while.
Forcible
Now it takes
entry,
that much
I
longer.
feel like, is one of those board at the firehouse drills that you can do at any time. Like, it doesn't require a ton of like setting up or anything like that. Most departments have the drill doors where you can just be like, you're sitting around, you got a couple new guys, like, hey, why don't we go over to the truck
You could
bay?
just be at the
firehouse
firehouse after a call or a duty crew. If it's there, use it.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm
like,
saying. Like, it's one of those, like, if it was, say, something like the Jaws of Life, like you don't have a car sitting there all the time, but like
You gotta open it and
yeah.
close it.
Although we did do one day we did do the cribbing Jenga with the tools, which is pretty cool because that gave people like you really understand the tool with that. Some people shit on it, but
well, I mean, it's
you're not prying.
what
or
I
anything like
think
that.
is good. Like people look at it different ways, and in some ways, I could say it's a waste of time because I'd rather be cutting a car or doing something. But on the other side of it, you're getting comfortable holding the tool.
Yeah, it's handling.
It's handling the tool.
Finessing.
It's the weight, like you said, the angles and different things that you do to manipulate it. When I would teach guys how to cut with the torch and stuff, sometimes, everybody wants to just cut a piece of metal or with a saw. Like, try it in a different position. Like, sometimes I put them in a tube and have them lay on their back and have to cut.
Right. Yeah.
Or just reaching your arms out, like, because, it's not normal, but maybe you have to do this once. Try different positions and stuff. Make it a little more difficult. And, that drill is more about finesse and the feel of the tool and how it reacts and the weight of it. So getting comfortable with the tool. And that's the way you got to look at it. Not like, oh, it's just Jenga. No, it's about being proficient and comfortable with the tool. Yeah, you're not cutting cars and then go out and do it. But with the forcible entry too, we all have phones. There's so many videos out there on forcible entry. Like, watch it for 5 minutes and say, wow, I've never seen that before. I've never tried that before. When I was teaching down in Texas, we were showing them how to put two haligans together to extend it, or using a metal roof hook and extend the haligan to get more leverage, and different things that you can do with other tools besides just the haligan. So, those little tidbits and small little drills, like doing a duty crew or after a company meeting and stuff like that, yeah, you might not get a point for it. Who cares? You're getting more proficient in your skills.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Practice. It's fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. I did want to mention this last submission before we cut it off, but the one I was telling you about before. So my department responds mutual aid into Quebec, Canada. They're from Vermont, and vice versa. They come across into the States as a mutual aid company. Tons of preset screenings for members, but yes, we literally scream through the border station. Dispatch advises the border, and they hold all traffic and open a lane for us, and we come back as normal traffic. Yes, there are language barriers, and yes, they do things much differently up there. Scenes run very smoothly with tons of experience, pre-planning, and predetermined assignments. Our departments have been doing this, and it's been happening for 30 plus years. The language barrier isn't as bad as it seems, but it makes it very interesting.
Yeah, it's totally different, you know. I mean, we look at North America in general, and you know, obviously it's right there, and there are a lot of departments along the border, both sides, Canada and United States, where it's a lot closer to call somebody across the border than it is to get help from a distance. And I remember whether it was, I forget what program. I saw it on TV, actually, and then I looked up some of the information on it. But it was talking about a police department. I think it was out in the Northwest somewhere. But, you know, the lines are sometimes zigzag and stuff like that. But the local police department relies on the resources across the border and vice versa, kind of mutual aid in case something happens. And, yes, technically it would be illegal. And, you know, like, God forbid they get in a shootout. You know, you're carrying a weapon across borders and everything else.
Starts a war.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean,
I guess that's not a civil war.
you know,
yeah.
we're looking at all this border problems and border security and everything else, but, you know, we also need help. And, you know, we're brother, sister firefighters and brother, sister
Just
police
want to help you
officers.
with your fire, eh?
Yeah, well, you know,
Come on,
but
guy.
when you need help, you know, and we've seen this in the valleys, and I don't know if we really got deep into it. I think we just mentioned it about, oh, I got a problem with your department, so I'm not going to call you. I'm going to call a department
yeah.
that's a lot further
I hate
away.
that
That's
shit.
the
And,
fucking most.
you know, that crap's
How
got
is
to
that allowed?
it's got to stop. I mean, listen, if the department is not proficient and they can't do shit, I can see where that battle could come in. But, you know, God forbid somebody does get hurt and die or whatever, and, you know, you're like, yeah, I didn't call the engine that's a block away because I had to call my buddy that's 2 firehouses over.
Yep.
That's my friend, and I don't really
Not
know.
only
Yeah,
is
I
it
don't
an
like that guy.
embarrassment, but you're going to find yourself in court.
Well, that's the thing. It's such a dumb thing to get, like, because of the type of work we do, it is very easy for some sort of investigation to be opened up because you're looking at property loss, human loss, you know, all it takes is one of those stupid fucking incidents to happen where all of a sudden it's just going to come crashing down on you.
Yeah, it's a shame that people are like that. You know, and you know, even here on Long Island, like, you know, the other day, Selden had a fire. We were doing a daytime crew. I had 6 guys in the firehouse standing there, and you know, I called my dispatcher and I'm like, you know, if you want to prompt Selden,
Can we go?
we got a full crew. And
You guys want to go on this mutual aid?
you know, they mutual aided other departments that didn't even get out. And meanwhile, we had 6 people sitting in the firehouse ready to go. And, you know, I put it in, and that's not, you know, I understand because of where it is in their district, they have their auto mutual aid plan.
Right. You were trying to be proactive.
I get all of that. And, you know, yeah, you're going to call those closer departments first. But, you know, and here's the thing, you know, I'm in a big district. So I punched in the Waze, you know, just like the Google map, you know, I punched in the Waze, how far it was. It was 4.1 miles from my firehouse to get to that fire scene. 4.1. Check this out. It's 3.9 miles to get to my headquarters within my own district. So it's slightly slightly more than what it would take for me to get to my headquarters.
Right.
It's not that far. And being in-house, and we've mentioned this about turning out quick and everything else, we could have been on scene very quickly, probably in 5 to 6 minutes tops. Like, that's a pretty good response. Now, if you're mutual aid in another department, it may take them 4 or 5 minutes to get on the road.
Right, yeah.
And then get to you. And even if they're closer to you, somebody that's in-house can get there a lot faster. And I think they do this down in Maryland, and if Maryland people can talk about this, but some of the Volly houses down there, I believe they contact the dispatcher and tell them we're on duty today and we have a crew in-house. And then they know who to respond. You know, they'll be like, "Oh,
We're on
they're
duty
available
today.
They're on duty today." You know, and they got a crew in house. You know, and it's. I think we should be gearing more towards that. First off, in-house crews is number one, because it's quicker response. Traffic is getting ridiculous, especially during the daytime. It's hard response. And if we have departments that have people in-house and are available, you know, like if all the other departments knew that or the dispatchers knew that, like Setauket had a crew on for 4 hours. Even if it's 2 districts away, I could probably get there quicker than most mutual
Right,
aids.
yeah.
You know, and it's not like we're trying to jap people or anything else. People need help. we should do everything in our power to get there and help
Right.
people.
Agreed.
Let me give you a real life example. So I pinned in the address. We did a mutual aid the other day. 4.6 miles. I had to stop at another station. It was on the way, but out of the way. So I was going west. I had to go north to
Pick
the
up
station.
personnel because you were shorthanded?
Yeah, it was
Yep.
the middle of the day, so I was
Gotcha.
picking up like 2 or 3 guys. Westbound, I had to go north to pick these guys up, back down to 347 or Vets Highway, and then go west into Comac. 4.6 miles. With the stop, took us 8 minutes, which I think is pretty solid.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Middle of the day, I think it was maybe 3-ish o'clock. Moderate traffic, nothing bumping.
3 o'clock still, like, traffic's starting to beef up
Yeah.
a little bit then. Yeah, that's not bad.
But 8 minutes, and we got out. I don't have the time from when we got out, but not
Yeah,
bad.
not bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get out quick, and
4.6
that's
miles.
that's the thing. We got to turn out quick, and like I sometimes even tell our guys, I understand we have a call-in system, and you see this 8 guys coming to the firehouse and all this stuff. You get 4 guys,
Yeah, you shouldn't be waiting
you
on
should
him.
be out the door. You shouldn't be waiting to fill the rig with 6 or 8 people or anything else. Like that's our minimum crew is 4 people. Interior. You need a driver and 2 interiors and a minimum of probie. But however you're going to do it, 4 people, get on the road as fast as you can. I mean, if the guy's running in the door and you're going to grab him, that's fine. But don't wait for people. You don't know if that person's home or coming from a store or somewhere else. They could be delayed. Just because they call in doesn't mean they're going to be there as fast as you think.
Right.
So you get that minimum crew, get out the door. Get there quick. We got to put water on the fire quick. And I know some people, it's automatic alarm, or it sounds like a job. I want to have 6. That's great that you want to have 6. If you can do it, do it. But why are we going to waste a minute waiting for another guy?
Right.
Get out the door, get there quickly, take care of people's problems. Now, if you don't have a full crew, you have exterior firefighters, all a different story. But if you have a minimum crew, whatever your department minimum crew is, with interior firefighters, get out the door, get water on the fire.
Yep. No, it makes sense.
That's the job.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up for this episode. We're filming pretty much like almost 2 back-to-back episodes this week. We had this one, and then episode 11, we have a special guest coming on.
We got a great guest coming on.
Very excited for it.
It's going to be huge.
Oh, yeah. So make sure you guys send in your stories and stuff like that. And we will catch you twice this week.
Yep.
Well, we
See
can
you.
get one out. We can get this out tomorrow and then get the other one
Yeah.
out later in the week.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Which
Put
should
it
be
out tomorrow.
great.
I'll start putting out some stuff.
Yeah.
All right,
All
cool.
right.
I think our guest is excited to be here too. So
Yeah,
it'll be good.
very excited for him.
We'll see you then.
All righty.